Who owns delivery?
Who owns delivery? Cool.
I have a very strong opinion.
Then you start.
Okay. Are you ready?
It's the bear shit in the woods.
Entry music. Da, 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 da. It's the Bob and Josh Show.
Bob,
Josh.
who owns delivery? Like, who's responsible? Who's the single ringable neck? Like, that's a term that was used many moons ago, right?
Right.
Like, so who's...
There is a
Who gets in trouble when things don't go well?
There's actually a title nowadays I've seen in the last few years, not before that, like delivery manager or delivery lead or something. People are using the delivery term.
Yeah.
Right. In safe, but outside of safe.
So like that's the one person that if everything goes off the rails, the team struggles, they can't deliver, the product doesn't ship,
okay,
customers don't get what they're looking
that?
for. Like where do you go? What do you do? Who's the person?
Do you have a strong opinion?
I'm asking you. That's a question.
Okay. I think it varies. I don't think there is a single ringable neck. And we can explore that.
Okay.
I think delivery starts at conception. That sounds interesting, doesn't it?
Delivery does start at it does. That's an accurate statement.
So I think there's a conception. So I think the delivery manager starts with the product owner. So I think there's a link in the beginning of what will we deliver, like the vision for sort of the package of stuff, right, and the problem that it's going to solve and the customer it's targeted to. So I think it's distributed. I don't think there is a single ringable neck. I think there's an early person, and it's the product owner who's envisioning something. What do you think about that?
I agree. I actually firmly disagree with the concept of a single ringable neck, because then at that point you lose the team concept. And to me, that's where the magic happens, is assembling the team of smart people attacking a problem. And as soon as you outlay that responsibility to a single human, then the team, what skin do they really have in the game at that point?
Right.
And then how does success happen? So I actually believe the concept of a single ringable neck is a mistake. And if you're driving in that direction, you might be doing some things wrong. And maybe you're wondering why teams are struggling a little bit. It's because they're not in the game. They don't have to be, because somebody else is going to have to deal with problems.
Well, that's one of the problems, right? If it's one of the side effects of having, I mean, let's not be too judgy. I can see where, from an organizational perspective, having someone to talk to, it doesn't mean you're the devil incarnate. If you want to talk to you want to say,
yeah.
I want someone.
Yeah.
Like if you have a builder of your home here, right?
There's a point of contact.
There's a point of contact.
Right.
So, but I do think this notion of a single point of contact or a ringable neck is flawed if you're trying to build a team.
Yeah. My common approach is 3 amigos, and Bob's used that in some writing, and I'm not sure what 3 that you reference, but what I think of is the product owner, the scrum master, and the technical leader. If it's an engineering manager or a team lead or a tech lead, whatever that role is, but there's a 3-headed monster there that helps ensure that delivery goes well. I think when things go wrong, things go sideways, you start to have concerns, that's where you go. You go to that crew to say, hey, what's going on? Because I believe they have the capability to address and solve the problems with the team.
Now, the original 3 Amigos was product, dev, QA,
Mm-hmm.
and it was trying to get cross-functional, insights. So different lenses.
Right. Yeah.
And it didn't have to be just 3. It could have been two devs, like an architect plus, or a front end, back end.
But the concept that there's a group of people together.
And they have these different perspectives. And so we're covering around a story. Now, the 3 Amigos was embedded not on a sprint deliverable, but on a story by story. So there could be different Amigos. Sometimes I used to call them like shepherds or Sherpas, story Sherpas.
Right.
They would Sherpa the story to done. And then the team is Sherpaing all of the stories to done to meet the sprint goal, right? Did you
you just made Sherpaing a word?
Yeah, I did.
And I said did you just made, not did you just make.
Yeah.
So we're on fire here. This is Grammar
We're making-
Central.
Yeah.
Maybe Grammarly is going to decide to sponsor us because we're not good at grammar, but that's okay.
But it's that distributed sort of ownership. I do think the product owner comes in. They have a weird role in my mind. Like they have a strong role. They don't own it, but they own inception. They have a large part to play in inception, and they have a large part to play in acceptance.
Right.
At the end, right before delivery.
Yeah.
And then they're engaged in the middle.
Right.
So I think the product owners are a strong contributor.
Mm-hmm. But from a true execution of getting the thing done, to your point, they're not in the game,
Exactly.
and they can't go twist a lever to make something go faster or smooth things out or whatever. But there oftentimes is a ton of value in having that product owner engaged to understand requirements, acceptance. Are we over engineering? Do we really need that thing? Let's gather the crew together and talk about what we're actually shipping, and does that meet the customer's need, or does it exceed it? And if it exceeds it, then maybe we can dial it back. So there's options there.
Now, what's not there? So the Scrum, to me, let's talk about some knots. The Scrum Master role is not the delivery lead. Outside managers should not be the delivery leads.
What do you mean by outside managers?
Functional managers, the dev managers, QA managers, UX managers.
Okay.
So people not on the team. A Scrum Master who has a project management title who was converted to Scrum Master, and the organization is looking to them to be the bat in the team.
Yeah.
That's
like
not
the bat.
Yeah, that's not their role.
Yeah.
That's not to make sure that people deliver. Anyone who's holding the team accountable, that notion of I'm in here, right? I'm here holding you all accountable.
So like a VP that swings in.
Or anyone that swings in. Even the Scrum Master, it could be anyone, a team lead who thinks, I got in our herd, my moose herd, someone was talking about he was a Scrum Master and a dev lead on the team. So he had these two roles, and people weren't talking.
Mm-hmm.
And he was trying to make people talk.
Right.
And I'm like, I don't know if you can make people talk, or they're not talking to his satisfaction. They're not.
Yeah.
Right. He's the judge of what effective collaboration is.
Right.
And you can't. So anyone who's like the stick, I don't think that's effective.
So no sticks.
Yeah.
So if you're walking in with a stick, so going back to the start of your the core is the people that can affect delivery.
Right.
And product owner is tangentially connected to that, so they can be a part of that. But to your point, there needs to be a group representing delivery, not just a single person. And it could not, should not, to get Dr. Susi in, be someone from the outside.
Did we do a video talking about team leads in teams? I think.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So this relates to that in that I want to see your reaction. I don't think the team lead is the single wringable neck in a team.
No.
Right. Now, again, they have an odd role. I think a team lead would be like product owner-esque from the point of view, maybe they're guiding architecture or guiding design, but it's soft. It's not, no one should be going to the team lead and say, we're behind schedule, make it up with the team. And
code faster.
Yeah.
No, it's to me, I go back to the contact point. What I think of is that if a team is struggling, then I usually gather a group of leaders from within that team, as opposed to all 10 people or whatever the number is that are involved with that. Depends on your team size. There's a million variables there. But having a contact point of saying, hey, I'm concerned. Are you guys concerned? What's going on? Let's educate each other and figure out, is there anything to do? If there is, how are we going to go do that? And then they can go do whatever needs to be done, whatever that is, right? It could just be providing clarity on stories or doing some team improvement of hey, let's be more collaborative, whatever it might be. There's options there.
Now, this is a shift point in a lot of teams. I hear this a lot where someone from managers or from organizations, they want to know who to blame or who to push. And a lot of teams acquiesce to that in their structure, or even they're comfortable. Someone on the team wants to just tell people what to do. So there's an incredible amount of tension pushing teams in this way. That whole notion of the team owns it. People look at you like you're crazy. It's crazy talk sometimes. Right?
Yep.
Now teams do that.
Yes.
I mean, everyone sort of, when you say, "Oh, well, who owns quality or who owns delivery?" and you say, "Well, the team." That creates like 90% of the people, their foreheads shrivel up and stuff like that, and they really don't like that answer.
Yeah.
But it's the right answer.
It is the right answer, but it's also the harder answer. It's more difficult to execute in that manner, which is why so many people shy away from it. And it does take being courageous and sticking to that and driving that and proving that it can work, because you very likely, based on the org structure, like Bob said, might be swimming upstream on how they've historically tackled things.
Yep.
So you are going to operate a little bit different than potentially other parts of the company.
That is a place where you see the previous culture.
Yeah.
Right. You really you see it. The entire organizational culture is sort of a microcosm of it. Is the dynamics in that moment.
Yep.
You can kind of see whether it's agile, where it's moving towards agile thinking, or it's not. Doesn't mean you can't be agile there. Can we amplify delivery before we close?
Sure.
What is, to me, delivery isn't just, so it's not just shipping. Can we talk about, shipping the right thing, hitting the goal?
So actual consumption.
Yeah.
That's what I look at. Of does your intended user actually consume the thing and use it?
Tears of joy. And writing a paycheck.
Yeah.
Right? Paying the bill for.
Yeah.
No, and
you're right. Yeah.
I'm laughing, but I'm being serious. So, delivery, and who owns that? The team owns. So the team isn't just there to produce code. It's an outcome. It's the customer is delighted. Mm-hmm. And that's the outcome. We've solved a problem. We've listened well. We just didn't by rote deliver 15 points or 20 points or something. Would you buy?
100%. There's been a ton of work that I've done in the past couple of years about shifting from outputs to outcomes.
Yeah.
And a common theme that I use when talking to dev teams is I ask them why they're here, what their purpose in the organization is. And so often it's to write code, to build features, to do whatever. But in reality, the direction I try and steer them towards is we are here to ship value for our customers.
And we all own it.
Yep.
And if the product owner drops the ball in their head and they just miss it, if someone else has an epiphany and they say, oh, you know what, this isn't going to do it, we need to shift it this way.
Yeah.
They open their mouth and they take that accountability for that, right?
Yeah.
Hey, are we done?
Yes. So as we wrap up, please hit that like button, then hit the subscribe button, because only about half the people that watch our videos are actually subscribed.
Oh my!
So I know it was I don't think you overreacted, Bob. Ugh. I mean, it seems relatively simple to hit that subscribe button. It helps us out.
Yes.
It's going to enable us to do more in the future by doing that. So we thank you for hitting the subscribe button. So from
beautiful Fuquay Varina, North Carolina, I'm Bob Galen.
And I'm Josh Anderson.
Shake
and bake.
Take care, y'all. Have you seen that? There's a Geico commercial or something where this guy is trying to turn people away from being their father.
Yeah, yeah.
And this guy says, "Is that a hashtag?" And he's an old guy and he rolls his eyes. Do I make you feel that way sometimes?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes.
Ooh. Did I just sound like a girl there or something?
No, you sounded like Bob.
Yeah. I had some marshmallows in my closet and they don't age well. No. They don't.
No, they don't.
They don't. We could break out Waterfall Bob and Agile Josh.
Hate that. Just to make me uncomfortable?
Yeah. Well, and get it on video. We've never done it on video.
And we might never.